Welcome back. And we're going to chat now about finance and HR software for nonprofits. And I'm really excited to welcome Sheri Hashimoto, who is a pre-sales consultant at SparkRock, who's joining us today to chat about exactly this. So welcome, Sheri.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we're going to just dig right in and talk about Sheri's background. So Sheri has a PHR. Tell me why this accreditation is so important and why would you take the time to get it, especially in this particular position?
Well, the professional in human resources PHR certification was actually encouraged by a previous employer. And it was specifically at that point in time aimed at some of the newer consultants in the HR payroll arena who had no experience. So they figured that accreditation would help along the way. And even though I had quite a few years experience by then, I like to take that philosophy and attitude of continued learning because you can always learn something new. Plus, over the years, it has provided a great wealth of information and being able to keep up with the industry as things change. So even when I'm out of country, being able to access the web and one of their webinars helped me keep up to date as well.
Wonderful. And let's talk a little bit about your passion for nonprofits.
Well, I sincerely really enjoyed working for the nonprofit. And while it was tough to leave, this opportunity allowed me to take all my previous experiences and combine them with and apply them to an application that caters to social impact organizations. And that the fact that it was built on Microsoft's Business Central cloud platform also meant that there's longevity because now these organizations don't get the opportunity to spend the funds to reinvest in their infrastructure. And so this allows them to keep up to date technologically, with the advances, but take advantages of our focus on nonprofits and social impact organizations. So it was a perfect match, and I love the culture here as well.
It's so great to hear. That's amazing. And let's dig right into this topic now. So can you help us understand the difference in requirements that a for-profit versus a non-profit organization would require?
Okay. This is going to be a simplistic standpoint, and I'm going to take it from a finance department's point of view. And so your for-profit companies, their focus is really on the inputs and outputs from sales orders and sales invoices and receivables and the cost of sales and having a system that handles all that. Now, SparkRock can handle all that too. However, our focus is on our nonprofit social impact customers and what they require. So for them, their revenue stream is coming from things like grants and funds and the schedule of receiving those revenue streams. And then on top of that, being able to tie the revenue streams into all the different programs and projects that they deliver internally or deliver to the other organizations, and keeping track of where all the expenses are coming from, whether it's an employee, whether it's purchases, right? And making sure that they have adequate budget for that is basically, the main difference. Plus the expertise here at SparkRock and focusing in on all the social impact type organizations. It goes pretty deep, and they've been around for about 18 years now. So they know the industry really, really, really well.
Fantastic. And can you show us what a day in the life of what a nonprofit might need to access Like, what could operations really look like? So I'm really excited. I know you're going to show us a little demo. So let's
Sure.
show everyone.
Well, let me, we'll take a look at it initially from a more strategic standpoint. And the benefit of having a fully integrated finance, HR, and payroll system. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Now, can you see it?
So here we go. So now we have a shared screen from Sheri. It's amazing. So if you want to just take it away and explain what's going on here.
So this is an example of what we call a Power Business Intelligence Report, or Power BI for short. And as you can see across the top here, this shows a decision maker, the total revenue for the 2020 and 2021 year, the expenses, that the total expenses, and the delta between them. Below that is a trend line that reflects the same, the revenue, the expenses, and the budget that's associated with it. And then over to the right-hand side, it's broken down into various expenditures, costs, budgets. But this is really, how do you want it set up, right? And the key here is being able to connect all the dots from budgets to the programs and tracking these revenues and expenditures against the budgets, and whether they're and what they're comprised of. So it's an interactive view. If you just wanted to hone in, say, specifically on 2021, say, you'll see that the information on the right-hand side dynamically changes based on what you want to see. And here I are selected all the months for this current year, and down below is the fund. You can look at, in this case, both operating and restricted funds, or in this case, just operating funds that are received. Again, these are the different revenue streams that are specific to social impact organizations and school districts as well. So in the detail, this area down here is a little bit more granular, but it's broken out in this case by specific programs or projects. Right here, what kind of revenue they have so far, and also the expenses that are summarized. So, in other words, what's being subtracted, out of that revenue. And from a strategic standpoint, you can take a look at this and immediately see, not only from the information in the boxes above, but what is the detail that's associated with it. And here you can see, for example, in this first care message project or program, they're about 99,000 over. Okay, so as you move along here, you can see that the college advising has a surplus. So, being able to shift, maybe take from Peter to give to Paul, can be done. But if you look over on the right-hand side here, and not that I'm being mean or anything, but this playground for kids has no expenses yet. So maybe that was never approved, but the funds were contributed. So being able to take that and spread the wealth a little bit are just giving your executives just an idea of where they stand overall financially. There's also the ability to look at just restricted funds too. And what we mean by restricted is those are earmarked specifically for specific programs. And when you look at restricted, then what you might see here is that if you are in a deficit position, then perhaps what you need to do is start drawing up that grant request or requesting funds from your donors in order to bring that back into balance. But overall, just trying to get this information for many of our clients before they had SparkRock was really difficult. It was usually old, and just trying to keep within budget is one of the main goals for most organizations. Now, all this information again is real time and rolls up from example from your tactical side. So for a finance manager, this is an example of a homepage that they might have. And you'll notice that there are things that are important to them that they want to be able to easily access. But they could also, as it feeds and populates here, they can incorporate those Power BI type reports right into their homepage, right? And it keeps up to date. And you'll notice these are all samples of that Power BI that I just showed you. We have multiple ones that we provide out of the box that are applicable to our clients. And here's a sample. I don't want to leave payroll and HR out, but this is information that would be applicable and important and relevant to your HR and payroll people. And yes, they're color coded. So bringing things to the forefront and attention. And we call it getting a sense of your business at a glance. Okay, so again, this all feeds into gives you the end result of that first report. And then, of course, being able to provide all your end users with self-service as well, manager self-service, scheduling, timekeeping. But this is all of these, I guess, roles and views, depending on what you're doing in the organization, is all mobile friendly as well. So that is it in a nutshell.
That's pretty amazing stuff to have that all in one spot, to be able to get insights and manage all your HR and finance needs all in one place. And it seems pretty, I don't want to say simple, but user friendly. So that's exciting for people that, may not be techie. It looks fairly okay. So that's exciting. So let's talk about, what do you think the one or two things that executives at nonprofit organizations really do need to do to ensure that they are harnessing technology?
The first thing that comes to my mind is just a business analysis. You don't have to go with an outside source. It's just something as simple as asking your staff, getting feedback from them. Where are some of the, the challenges that lie? What takes a long time and some of your own staff might have experience with other operations or technologies and have some great ideas of where improvements can be made. And also trades. The trades, if you just simply Google their nonprofit trade organizations, plus, I'm not going to forget, this is just attending and being aware of webinars such as this that cater to what your organization represents and what they need.
Wonderful. That's great. And what if someone wants to learn more about SparkRock and get more, dig a little deeper into the applications? What can they do?
Well, sparkrock.com, all one word, sparkrock.com is available, and it's a very easy website to navigate. Contact information, you reach out, contact us, and we'll be happy to, like you just saw, the very tiny tip of the iceberg of what it is that we can provide. And so taking a deeper look.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much today for the demo and for chatting with us today, Sheri, and looking forward to learning more. Thanks again for your time.
Great. Thank you.